Hi everyone. So before we start the lesson on solving equations with fractional coefficients, we need to do a warm-up to review some very important skills that you should know, or at least maybe need a review on. So what I'd like you to do, as it says in the directions, go to the warm-up section of your binder, right? When you're in class with me, I'm going to give you specific papers that I want you to use to do these warm-ups. But since you have not been in class with me yet, just take a sheet of line paper, put it in the warm-up section of your binder, all right? Not just in some random spot. You probably get about 3 or so warm-ups on a piece of paper. You don't have to use a new piece of paper each time. That's just wasting paper, okay? What I want you to do, pause the video, do the 3 problems that I gave you. After you've done them on your own, check back for the solutions, okay? Again, I want you to actually do them on your own. If you're not doing them on your own, you're not really learning. Okay, so at this point, you have paused the video, you did the 3 questions on your own, and now you're checking back to see the answers and the solutions. Okay, so directions say name the LCD for each group of fractions. Okay, so LCD, least common denominator, right? All we care about is the denominator, what the D stands for in LCD. We don't care about the numerators, right? What we want to look at is the common multiples. We want the lowest common multiple of the denominators. So in example 1, if I list the multiples of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, I'll stop there. And I list multiples of 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, let's stop there. The lowest common multiple that they have in common is 6. So the LCD is 6. All right, so for number 2, again, we don't care about the numerator. We only care about the denominator, what that D stands for. So multiples of 5 go like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. For 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42. Okay, keep going until you find one in common. If you don't have, I'm going to stop here, check if we have one in common. If we don't have one in common, we need to extend our list. Well, we don't have the 5, we don't have the 10, we don't have the 15, we don't have the 20, we don't have the 25, but we do have a 30. So your LCD here is equal to 30. All right. Number 3 has 3 fractions, but okay, same deal, except we're going to have to make 3 lists. So multiples of 2 would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, I'm going to stop there. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. Okay. And then multiples of 5, we already have listed, but let's rewrite it again. 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Okay, so what you should notice, the list for 4 and 5, they both have a 40 in common. No, I'm sorry, they both have a 20 in common, not 40, all right? And the 2 also has a 20, so we do have something in common, and that is our smallest, that is the smallest multiple that we have in common. So the LCD is equal to 20, okay? You have to know this in order to be able to do what we're going to do in this lesson. Okay, so the whole reason that we went over LCD is because guess what? To eliminate fractions within an equation, so we're dealing with equations like that has a fraction there, and then we have ones with 3 fractions, okay? So the whole idea is we want to eliminate fractions. We want to transform the equation into an equivalent equation that does not have any fractions. So in order to eliminate fractions within an equation, we multiply the entire, very important, I'm going to highlight that word, equation by the LCD. Okay, let's take a look at how that works. All right, number 1 has only one fraction. So what's the LCD here? Again, only the denominator matters, not the numerator. Well, the only denominator here is 8, so the LCD here is going to be 8. So what we're going to do, we're going to multiply the entire equation by 8. So I'm going to go like this. 8 parentheses 7 over 8 W equals 56. Okay, so we're going to multiply that times that, of course, distributive property, and then that times that. So, review of multiplying fractions and whole numbers. I'm going to do this up here. 8 times 7 over 8. 2 ways to do it. First way, you can turn the a into a fraction, put it over 1, then we multiply numerator, numerator, denominator, denominator. So that's 8 times 7, 56 over 8, and 56 divided by 8 is 7. Okay, that's the long way. The short way, do it on the other side. 8 times 7 over 8. We have times 8 divided by 8. Those cancel. We're just left with 7. And don't forget the W. So this multiplies to 7W equals 8 times 56 is 448. Okay. And of course, we're going to finish by dividing each side by 7. 448 divided by 7 is 64. Okay. Number 2. Number 2, again, only has one fraction, so the LCD here is just our denominator. The LCD is 5. So we're going to multiply everything by 5. 49 times 5 is 245. And if we multiply, let's do 5 times negative 7 over 5. Y. See, do it the easy way. The 5s will cancel. Equals negative 7y. And of course, we're going to divide each side by negative 7. So 245 divided by 7 is 35. And that's going to be negative 35. Okay. Number 3 is going to be a little more difficult. So we have denominators of 4, 2, and 8. No, actually, I didn't want to circle those. So you should see that the LCD here is going to be 8. If you don't see it, write out the list. Okay, do you have to write out the list? No, if you see it in your head, that's fine. As long as you have some way of getting that LCD. Right, so we're going to multiply through the entire equation by 8. Okay, so we have 3 different multiplications of wholes and fractions to do. So 8 times negative 1 over 4. I can put that over 1. That's negative 8 over 4, which is really negative 2. So we have negative 2. And then 8 times negative 7 over 2v. Okay, that's negative 56 over 2v. Negative 56 over 2, of course, is negative 28. v. So minus 28v equals, and then our last multiplication, 8 times negative 1 over 8. Okay, and those 8s will just eliminate right away, and we just have negative 1. Okay, so we transform this into an equivalent equation by using the LCD. That doesn't have any fractions. So now we'll solve, of course add 2 to each side. Negative 28v equals 1, and then we'll divide by negative 28. Oops. So v will be 1 over negative 28, which we can just bring the negative to the front, negative 1 over 28. All right. Number 4, we have denominators of 3 and 2 2's, doesn't matter, just count the 2 1's. The LCD of 3 and 2 is 6. So we're going to, I'm just going to erase this, we're going to multiply the 6 times the whole equation. Okay, so 6 times 8 over 3, 48 over 3, which is 16. That's that. 6 times negative 3 over 2x over 1. So that's negative 18 over 2x, which is negative 9x. And then 6 times negative a half. That's going to be, do some erasing. So that is negative 6 over 2, which is negative 3. Okay, so see we've eliminated the fractions. We'll solve for x now. Get rid of the 16 from each side. Negative 9x equals negative 19. Divide each side by negative 9. So x is equal to, now 19 isn't divisible by 9. So we're just going to simplify. The simplest we can get it is positive 19 over 9, right? All we can do is get rid of the 2 negatives. Okay. Number 5, we have 3, 3, and 7. The LCD is going to be 21, right? So 21 times 1 over 3, which is 21 over 3, or 7, equals 21 times negative 2 over 3x, negative 42 over 3, which is negative 14. And then 21 times negative 9 over 7. Sorry. Okay, so over 1, 21 times 9 is negative 189 over 7, and 189 divided by 7 is 27. Negative 27. So that's minus 27. Okay, now we can add 27 to each side. 34 equals negative 14x. Get rid of the negative 14. Let me do some erasing. This is getting a little messy. Okay, I'm going to come back up here. So we got 34 over negative, 34 over negative 14 equals x. So 34 is not divisible by 14. Let's just simplify the fraction. If we divide everything by 2, we have 17 over negative 7 equals x. And of course, we'll just bring the x to the front. Okay, last one. we have 9, 3, and 5. You should see that the LCD here is 45. Okay, so I'm going to have you, I'm not going to write out all the multiplications this time. You should do this on your own off to the side. But when we do that, we get 40 y minus 30 equals negative 27 plus 30d each side. So we have 40y equals 3, and y is equal to 3 over 40.